Coach, what's it been like? Couple weeks? I guess you had a week and then spring break, and now back for a full week. What's spring ball been like? I guess your assessment so far.
Well, we've had 2 good weeks of practice. I think a lot of our guys coming back have a good understanding of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to get accomplished. They've done a really good job. Keeping them healthy is important as well as we continue to push forward. I think there's a lot of new faces, so we just got to keep pushing the envelope on not only just drill work, but giving them repetitions so that they can understand and hear things and be able to react accordingly and play fast. So right now that's the emphasis, and I think our guys are working hard, and we're seeing improvement every day.
On that emphasis, do you feel like the new guys are coming to grasp with what they're being required to do, the play calls and things like that?
I think in general, there's obviously progress being made there. I think we have the capability to make plays, just understanding exactly all the calls and all the different things we have going on with them is important, and so that we can play fast. But I do think guys are starting to emerge. We got to build depth at all those positions for the entire year, and I think we've made progress there.
What were your thoughts on today's practice? It was pretty scrimmage heavy, scrimmage-like.
Well, we wanted to get a lot of situational work in and running plays and getting calls in, and while we weren't tackling live to the ground, we wanted to make sure that we went through those mechanics, and that we can watch it on video where we can see where we made the mistakes. We can get things corrected. We can try to simplify things as coaches if we need to be better and more efficient, so that we don't ask the new guys to do too much, but we also want to have enough ready in the arsenal to perform well. So right now it's a fun process. Our guys are enjoying it. They're working hard, and like I said, playmakers are making plays for us.
When you talk about playmakers, and you said some guys are starting to jump up, but anybody new, some of these new faces that have really impressed you thus far?
Well, I do think we have some depth on the defensive line, and even though there's a lot of new faces, those guys have stepped up and really, Garrard and Conga and A.J. Green have had solid camps, and then there's a lot of newcomers that have done well. Terry Quinn, has done a really good job. Caleb Perry, the transfer linebacker from Tennessee, has really stood out. And then I think we have depth in the secondary that we've got to keep healthy, but quite a few of them are new. So while D'Angelo has been pretty consistent in the back end, there's a lot of the new faces that just got to continue to improve.
Jeff, what with Miller, what have you seen? Obviously, you knew what you were kind of recruiting when you get that after a couple weeks. What do you like that he does, and maybe what are you trying to work on the most with him?
Well, you can tell he's played a lot of football. He's got experience. He's a veteran. He can pick up our offense very fast. He's run quite a few of these plays before, just maybe called it something different. So that part is there. I think he can throw the football and throw it accurately. I think with any quarterback, maybe when you didn't have the success you wanted, what are those really small things that we can fine-tune? So I think, demanding that we throw it in tighter windows at times, being accurate with our passes, being on time, not expecting guys to be wide open. Sometimes they're just barely open, and you got to put it where you need to put it to get a completion. And especially in the red zone on third down, you got to find ways to get completions and not expect things to just be so wide open. It just doesn't happen against good teams. So I think fine-tuning that and being precise and trusting what he sees and his accuracy is what we just got to keep working on. But he's really done a good job at this point.
Jeff, you've got 2 very highly capable receivers in Chris Bell and Colin Lacey, but so far, obviously it's early, 2 weeks through spring ball, but who do you think is starting to make some real strides towards becoming potentially the 3rd starting wide receiver?
Well, yes, Chris and Colin, those are our 2 playmakers, and we got to keep them healthy and give them the ball this year and let them do their thing. I think they all can make plays in a lot of different ways, and they love to compete, and they're our leaders at that position. Developing other compliments are important, and I think right now Antonio Meigs had a touchdown catch in the bowl game. He's got to continue to improve, but he's getting a ton of reps. Chris Hughes has played some for us, situational last year, did a good job. He's got to continue to step up and make plays. And there's just some other young guys that will show up sometimes, but we need them to show up more, that are getting closer. So that's going to be important. And then, the tight end position, we've got to, continue to figure out ways to, own the hashes, get completions in the middle of the field. Between Kariski and Skinner and the others, they've got to continue to make improvements.
You have some experience back on the line, some new faces that are experienced, guys that played elsewhere. Looks like you can, obviously it's spring, but you can put a lot of guys and rotate. And do you hopefully maybe have a little bit more than depth than you even did last year, you think?
Well, initially, I do think we have some guys we feel comfortable can play well for us. I think athletically they're all capable, understanding and all the nuances. It's still a process. There's a lot to decipher when you're up there on the offensive line. There's just a whole lot more than you think. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things to be able to identify. We do throw a lot at them, so kind of understanding that to allow them to play is what we're working through. Trevante, we lost him for the spring, but he'll be back after that. That's cut into the depth a little bit, but these new guys need to continue to improve, and we do like the fact that we feel like hopefully we can have 8 to 10 capable guys ready to go right now, then a few others that hopefully are getting ready to step into that mix.
Behind Miller, you've got Brady and some younger guys. How do you think that competition for that eventual number 2 spot is for you?
Well, it's a good competition now because we need that position to step up and perform well. Each guy has had their parts on different days. I think Deuce Adams has done some good things at times without question. I think Brady Allen have had some up and down days, but at times he's looked really good and more consistent. We got to continue to really push the envelope there, and we got to demand that they step up and perform, and that if they go in, we can continue to execute. So that's going to be important. And then we got a capable freshman that's just got to continue to learn the offense and nuances. But he shows promise. It's just he still should be in high school. So that position is important. And without question, Brady and Deuce have the upper hand right now, and they've got to step forward every day and get better and make plays for us.
Jeff, you've had some recent momentum recruiting wise. Obviously, it's spring, and you bring a lot of guys in. You had a ton of people here today. How much has the first 2 years and the success kind of helped take this to another level as far as recruiting wise, and maybe how different will this class be any bigger than what we've seen as far as high school wise?
Well, right now we're probably ahead of where we've been in the past, and sometimes that's good, but sometimes you don't want to get too far ahead. You got to make sure that you have some room to maneuver in case things happen or in case things don't happen. And we've got quite a few commitments now, so that's going to slow down, and we're going to make sure we're very selective as we continue to go forward. And then the spring portal hits, and there's some movement there, and you figure out how much room do you probably really have. And at this point, I think we're positioned very good. And there is some in-state talent we feel good about that we want to continue to recruit, which we will, and we want to make sure we get some difference makers to come in here that can play either the first year or get ready and work hard and get ready for the second year. And then with that, we do want to leave room for veterans that can fill some holes that we have based on how the team shapes up.
Kind of off topic, Jeff, Tyler Shunk has gotten a lot of positive buzz leading up to the NFL draft. Kind of expected from what you saw from him?
Well, from our vantage point, yes, it is expected. He did a great job for us. Came in here, learned our offense quickly, worked hard. He can throw the football. He can move when he needs to. He was able to stay healthy for us all year long. We were able to help him do that. He did a great job. And I just think he is a very capable NFL quarterback that if a team takes, he can play for them. He can do a great job for them. I think teams are starting to see that. And he's an experienced guy that while he's older, it's good experience. He's been through some ups and downs, but he fought through it, and he had a very successful year for us. So I think his stock will continue to climb, and if you look into it and dive into it, nothing but positive things come out of that. So very proud of where he's at right now, and he definitely is back here right now, kind of getting ready for Pro Day coming up next week, and I think he'll do a great job.
Kind of on that note, how beneficial is it to have guys like Tyler around and Michael Gonzalez? Talk to some of the guys that are still around.
Well, they're definitely leaders, and they were for us last year. They continue to lead just by being around. Both those guys were fantastic for us, and I think they both got bright futures. And whether you start in the first round or the middle round or late rounds, it doesn't matter. If you like football and you love to compete, which I know those two do, and some of the other guys that are going to work out on a pro day do, you got a chance to play for a long time. And so I think we'll have successful pro day. Our guys will do a great job. There's a lot of them that'll be working out, and hopefully they can fulfill their dreams.
Jeff, the secondary was a little touch and go at times last season, but you have a lot of new faces in that area of the field. Through 2 weeks of spring ball, what are some of your thoughts on the corners and safeties?
Well, I like where we're at. There are a lot of new faces, so we got to digest who's in there and how they're doing. And we got to continue to throw a lot of that at them. And then with that, we got to make sure that the package is sound and we put them in the best position to succeed as well. All those things matter when it comes to secondary play. As we studied our season last year, we've been good against the run. We have given up too many big pass plays. And as we looked at some big plays from last year, the first 32 of them are pass plays. So we've got to continue to get better in pass coverage, and that's players and drill work and understanding, and that's us as coaches making sure we have the right plan that can help them succeed and that we give them a chance to make plays in the passing game by having the right combination of being aggressive but also smart and not letting balls be thrown over our head.
All right.
Okay, thank you.